Opening day is come and gone, and the Mets lose 3-1 to the Houston Astros. We're going to just give you our initial instant reaction. For those of you who are listening to this, appreciate you. For those of you watching over on YouTube, remember, if you want to see this episode early, which you would, I mean, these are going to be uploaded the morning after normally, but we plan on doing more instant reaction immediately after the game, how we're feeling type episodes. If you want to see those early when they are done, you'll be able to see those if you become a member on the channel. You can join there. Again, not necessary. It'll be out in the morning. But if you're itching, you're like, I need my Mets'd up fix right now, you could pay for the membership. We do appreciate it. Check out the Discord in the description as well if you want to join up there. Let's go ahead and talk about opening day. It was bad, but not terrible. I don't know. Like, yeah. I feel like the reaction online is insane. I think there's some sleeper cells, honestly, in the Twitter world right now. I think the Mets Twitter has been infiltrated by people who aren't Mets fans and are pretending and parading around like they are, because the reactions are just completely out of control right now.
And you guys know, if you're coming in to listen to the Mets'd Up podcast, this is not the overreaction show. We are not going to be banging our fists on the table. We're not going to be freaking out.
Juan Soto sucks. Bust.
I think I saw a $760 million version of Pete Alonso. I think I saw that one. That was one of my favorite takes. There's 161 games left, which I'm really excited about. That's like kind of the best part about today. So we can just look forward for the next 6 months and be like baseball every single day. It doesn't matter. We haven't even gone home yet. We had to face a really good pitcher. That's all fine. Gary gave a great little stat. I don't remember if it was Gary or Ron towards the end of the game. Before the Mets mounted their mini comeback in the ninth, he said the last time that the Mets lost back-to-back opening days and back-to-back seasons were 1999 and 2000. Where 1999, I believe they lost the NLCS, and in 2000, I believe they reached the World Series, which, again, it's kind of funny. But it's funny. Those are two good seasons. That's the last time they lost back-to-back opening days. And also, the Mets as a franchise, the best winning percentage of any team in the history of baseball on opening day, and that includes them losing their first 8 opening days as a team. That means the New York Mets won a World Series before they won a game on opening day, and they still have the best opening day winning percentage of any baseball team in the history of the world. So it's just funny that it's just this game holds a lot of importance, but it is just one of 162 at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the super unfun take that you're going to get from us, is we're not going to be like, opening day is the most important day of the year.
Set the tone.
If you lose, every game matters. Like that.
We almost got no hit on opening day last year.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, I think there were a lot of positives to take from this game. I think there's a lot of things that also are something to keep an eye out for. Like,
I don't know about a lot of positives. I think this could just be a neutrally bad game. I don't know about a lot of positives.
I really like the at-bats. I know it didn't result in anything, but that's Framber Valdez. Like, he is just so frustrating to face because, one, he's really good. He's one of the 20 best pitchers in Major League Baseball. When you put the ball in play, it's on the ground. And usually when you put the ball on the ground, it's going to be an out. Like, he just dominated the Mets in the way where it's like, okay, they might have had good at-bats, make them work a little bit here and there, but you just couldn't lift the ball, couldn't make any big noise happen, no extra base hits or anything like that, besides the Luis Torrens kind of half double-ish thing to Cam Smith.
I think the Mets were very focused on not hitting ground balls in this game against Framber Valdez because they didn't really hit that many on the ground. Only 8 of the 19 balls they put in play today were on the ground, where last year Framber Valdez had the highest ground ball rate in the league by far, over 60%, which is kind of like that threshold where ground ball starts to become really, really, really significant. I think they were very purposely trying to lift the ball. I think Valdez was kind of playing into that, and he was getting a lot of lazy pop-ups. I think that was the one thing the Mets were doing the worst. But they just really didn't make much solid contact. And it's hard to make solid contact on Framber Valdez. The sinker's crazy. The curveball's awesome. The changeup's really good. He's a really good pitcher. He has been for a long time with good reason. Like, that's just kind of the way it is. He's truly exhausting to face, and I think we kind of just felt that head on.
Yeah, like, I feel like, I mean, Soto, outside of the last at-bat, and even still, I don't think it was a bad at-bat. It just ended poorly. Like, he's so in control at the plate. That's one of the rare times I think you'll ever see him be fooled, and that pitch was absolutely disgusting from Josh Hader. So, like James just showed on the video, tip your cap, move on. It would have been like, is this guy magical. A god? Yeah, if he got a hit there and tied the game up, if he hit a home run, took the lead, like, I know that's like what we pay him for, is to get those hits there. It's like, it's the first game. This is a hard sport. He is going to fail more in big moments than he is going to succeed. That's how this game works.
I would have loved to see him take a hack at the 3-0 slider that he knew he was going to get a pitch over the plate. Again, it wasn't it was like a front hip slider from Josh Hader, lefty.
Which probably started off like behind his back. So it was one of those where it's like, it was lazy and was like a hittable pitch, but also lefty like that, it probably looked like it was going to hit his like ass on the way there.
And it did really feel like Hader kind of lulled him to sleep, because it felt like, and Gary, Keith, and Ron thought so too, it felt like he was fully pitching around Juan Soto. That's kind of what it seemed like. I didn't think that was possible, because I don't think you're going to put the tying run on second base in the ninth inning for Pete Alonso, but it did feel like he was like, I'm not going to give him something to hit. And then again, he threw a good pitch. He tipped the cap. It did really feel like in the ninth inning, a little bit in the eighth as well, that the magic was coming back.
I know.
This felt like one of those games down the stretch last year that were pulling out. It felt like Hayden Sanger, of all people, was going to step up to the plate and get the big hit.
I threw it out there. I said if he hits a grand slam, fourth kid's named Hayden, which that would really add to the group of kids that are going to be in the Luino family in the future here. But yeah, I mean, like, even his at bat, like I thought he had a pretty decent at bat going up against Josh Hader. This is why I'm saying, like, the Mets didn't do any runs, and this is like probably frustrating for some people to hear.
They didn't do any runs.
They didn't do any runs. You like that?
They didn't do any runs.
They didn't do any runs. But like,
one run.
I felt like Marte had a bad at bat in this game, and Vientos maybe had a bad at bat or two against Framber, where he just had no idea what to do with that curveball. But then he had an amazing at bat later in the game against Brian Abreu. Pete, I thought Alonso had amazing at bats throughout the game. He looked really, really calm and comfortable. Something we did not see at all last year. It seems like that contract, that free agency that was looming last year, was so heavily weighing on him. Where today it was like, I mean, he almost did his like best Juan Soto. He was taking pitches on the corner. He wasn't chasing those sliders on the outside corner with Brian Abreu. Like, those are all things I think look good. Brent Nimmo swung the bat well. Lindor hit a ball well to center field. Hits didn't fall. They lost the game. And it could have, honestly, it felt like at times it could have been even worse at points. Like, Clay Holmes got into trouble. We had the Luis Angel Acuna error, which was inexcusable. He just completely rushed. That was insane to watch him do that. But like, Clay Holmes battled in this one. I appreciate that from him.
It also felt like on that ground ball, Acuna didn't really want to stand in and take the hit. It seemed like he wanted to run over the base and avoid it. And he also was definitely in a rush because Jeremy Pena is a very fast base runner. But infield coach, he had another beat. But I think, again, Young, the game moves very quickly for you. That's just how it is. He doesn't have a lot of major league reps. He especially doesn't have many reps at second, even in the major leagues or the minor leagues. He's a shortstop. So that's kind of the big adjustment going across from shortstop to second base, because you have to come around the diamond. And he has a good arm, but like, to make that throw, he really ran through it, like, probably a little too much. But Sarbaugh went over there after, talked to him. I also think Acuna had the moment of this game when he drew the walk on Hader.
That was awesome at bat. That was sick.
And really, really cool for him, the young player, getting the opening day start, where his heart was definitely beating out of his fucking chest. It seemed very obvious, but to have that at bat against one of the premier relief pitchers in the entire game, after you kind of had a bad day, both at the plate and at the field, that showed good mettle. I like to see that. It was just opening day. Just things were a little rusty at Holmes. I think it's pretty obvious he wasn't very good. This was like kind of the fear with him that the command was going to wane, the velocity was going to drop down a little bit, and you saw something the Astros are doing. I thought was so interesting. I can't wait to look it up on the new Baseball Savant, like a hitter tracker, where you can see where guys are standing in the box. It seemed like after the first time through the order, they went 4 feet away from the plate. When Altuve came up his second time, he was maybe an extra foot back, because what Clay Holmes is trying to do to those right-handed hitters is bury that sinker inside on them. He was doing that so much the first time around the batting order, especially to Isaac Paredes, Christian Walker, and Yanier Diaz, 3 guys who crushed the ball inside. And Altuve. Altuve got that sweeper at him that was disgusting. But he was burying it on them. It seemed like they had a conversation. It seemed like Altuve, someone in the video, people were like, stand back. That's when they started hitting the ball hard. But even as they started to hit the ball hard on Clay Holmes, they were never lifting it. Like, this is kind of why the Clay Holmes floor, I think, is a little bit higher than was made to be believed, like, especially during the early parts of the offseason before the spring training fervor hit. Because as long as he can command that sinker a little bit, which, again, it did wax and wane a little in this game, you're not really ever going to totally piece him up. Christian Walker pulled a couple ground balls, but that was it. It was just the Yanier Diaz fly ball deep. That was the only one that was really hit with damage. But the Astros got their runs after like a classic Clay Holmes Yankee ninth inning, where there was a hit by pitch, a walk, a fielder's choice, a ground ball.
Smith hit the ball through the first base hole
for 12 miles an hour. There was the hit by pitch in the wrist again, like a really tough walk. It was just that's the kind of nexus of why we thought the Clay Holmes experiment could have worked anyway, because when that inning happens in the ninth, you want to jump off a bridge.
Yes.
When the inning happens in the second, you're like, all right, we have 7 more innings to score runs. Let's go score some runs. That's the only problem. Mets didn't score any runs. You score 1, it's very hard to win. You give up 3, you should win that game. So I think that's kind of what it boils down to.
And even from Clay Holmes' perspective, give 2 runs. Like, that was an error on the Acuna throw on the double play there. So like, while it wasn't the spring training starts, it was never going to be the spring training starts. These are major league rosters. These are major league lineups at every single position.
And I mentioned this a week ago, and it kind of came back head on today, and I think it's going to come on head on the rest of this weekend. We played the Astros nonstop in spring training. Correct. They're one of the teams in our pods, along with the Marlins, who we're playing next week. So then we have to go play this team with the first game of the season again, when the only people in the league who have seen Clay Holmes as a starter are the ones we have to face right off the bat. That really pissed me off. And also, I thought it was interesting. It's going to be something to watch that He barely threw the kick change, and he didn't throw that many cutters either.
For long.
Second time through to Jordan's, the first time he threw one, and then he only threw 4 or 5 the whole game. But the ones he threw,
they were good.
Still a little inconsistent though. I still don't know if he has exactly. They didn't move exactly every time the way he wanted them to, but they looked really good. One of them, Jordan, like bugged his eyes out of his head that first one he threw. So
and he threw one righty, I think, to Christian Walker Altuve at one point too, which was really interesting.
He could have been Walker if I remember right, but yeah, it definitely. It's always going to be processed. Going to be processed. We know it's not going to be beautiful off the bat. And again, it wasn't that bad. Like you had chances to win this game, just didn't execute. And that's baseball.
If you're looking for premium clothes at an affordable price, you got to check out True Classic. AJ, you're rocking a True Classic shirt right now.
Oh, believe it. Look at this thing. Look at it. Soft. It fits perfect. Even with these guns, not too tight like Scott likes it. Little bit of room to move in there, right? Look, you can wear it under a suit. You can wear it out to dinner with some nice jeans. You can wear it to the gym if that's what your game is. Whatever it takes, this thing fits great, feels great. Great shirt.
The long sleeve Henny for these cold, kind of warm spring days. Perfect.
Yep. Build the perfect outfit in 5 minutes or less. Everything goes great together. Free shipping on all orders. It's designed to bring out your best features with the perfect fit. So, FT fam, whether you're bundling up for the cold or getting ready for spring, level up your style with clothes that actually fit right. Go to our exclusive link, trueclassic.com/foul to save. That's trueclassic.com/FOUL. Shop now and elevate your wardrobe today. FT fam, get after it.
Yeah, and then like moving on to the bullpen here, just to go through it. Huascar Brazoban did a great job. I can't believe how good he looked, considering how like nervous I was for him when he came into games last year. He looked really good. Danny Young did a good job. Like they just didn't hit. That was I shouldn't even say they didn't hit. Like they just didn't hit with any sort of like oomph behind it. Again, they didn't do runs. No runs.
No runs into, and it was just kind of the big hit. You never got the wrist, but the wrist was back in this game really, really bad because Nimmo had that at bat in the 8th inning. After the 3 straight walks, he swung the first pitch
down, and I loved it.
It was a great pitch. It was a really good pitch to hit. Vientos did a similar thing in I think it was his first at bat of the game in the first inning when the Mets were threatening. We swung at the first pitch. That was a little bit of a worse pitch, but that's Framber Valdez. So it's just I don't know. I think these guys are really jumpy. I think they're really excited for this game, and I think that. They faced 3 incredible pitchers between Framber Valdez, Brian Abreu, who's one of the best setup men in the league, and Josh Hader, one of the best closers in the league.
Literally.
It's baseball. You tip the cap.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I think there's a lot of people that are taking way too much stock in how the Mets lost this game. Rather than looking at like, oh, it's game 1 of 162. They're like, oh my God, we gave Juan Soto $760 million and he didn't hit a 3-run homer to make the Mets win 4-3. Like, I know what people want. I can't say, like, what do you want from this guy? I know what they want. They want him to win the game every single time.
I wanted him to win the game.
I wanted him to win it too.
I really thought he was going to find a way to come through, get a hit, because I was thinking early in the game, I was like, he's getting booed a lot.
Yes.
And then I realized, like, first of all, the fact that he took over that series when the Yankees went to Houston to open the season last year kind of sent the Astros to the World Series with the Nationals when he was 19 years old, and he stole a World Series from the grasp of the dynasty. So I thought that was interesting too. Also, just a quick note on Brazoban. All his pitches had more movement. Ooh. He was getting more lift on the cutter. He was getting more drop on his changeup. He was getting more fade on his changeup too. Like everything was moving a little bit more than it was last year. More rise on his 4-seam fastball. It did look. If you guys thought it looked different from Huascar Brazoban, it's because it did look different. Every single pitch looked better. He was throwing the cutter about 3 miles an hour harder on average. Got one to 93 miles an hour. When last year the average 89. So it looks like it was a good offseason for Huascar Brazoban.
Well, this is
and
also
35 pitches. Ton. Great.
Did you see Tim Healy's article that came out today about, or maybe not today, or a couple weeks ago about Huascar Brazoban, how he lied about who he was when he was 18 when he originally came over to America, and it's been a problem for him to get visas to come play every single time the last few years. This was the first year that he's had a full spring training in a very long time. So, I mean, I think that helps him as well.
You're telling me about visa issues right now.
Yeah, it's a little close to home.
Can't hear about that. But it was like it sucks. It was really annoying. There were rallies. They didn't really cash in. You face the other team's best 3 pitchers in their entire roster. Go out and win the game tomorrow.
Yeah, I tell you what, I can't wait. I cannot wait for Friday's game. I'm so excited.
I'm just excited the fact that it's beginning. Like people are freaking out about this, and I'm like, we got 161 left. Can't wait to watch baseball every single day for the next 6 months.
If the Mets are the best team in baseball, they're going to lose 60 games this year. Like
65 even.
I feel like people forget that too. Like it's such a long season. Wish we could have won it. We didn't. Move on. It's over now.
But again, that's the magnifying glass you just get on opening day. And we felt this
it's just another day.
Same thing happened last year. Like it did. It really did. Like last year, the first 5 games of the year, it felt like the entire sky was falling. It felt like a pure unmitigated disaster. I remember last year on opening day from the Mets'd Twitter account, we were really trying to build it up. We got 2 tweets that got 1 million impressions in one day. Like opening day is a big deal, but it's still very important not to overreact to just what happens in one game of the season. If this was a game that happened on May 11th. It would just be a game that happened on May 11th. You'd have dinner and not even think about it. But the fact that you see the 0-1 in the standings, you're like, damn 0-1.
I do love the idea of you're like May 11th, you lose 3-1 to the Astros. You're like, all right, get them tomorrow. We'll see how it goes.
Game 1, let's go. Win 2 more. No big deal.
I don't know. I wish we won, but we didn't. So we'll see you tomorrow.
And also, it's good for the series. You make Josh Hader throw like 25 pitches before he recorded it out.
Threw 30-something pitches. Brian Abreu threw 30-something pitches. Like, those guys might be done for the weekend.
That's what I'm saying. Like, let's pedal to the metal. Let's win 2 games this year. Come on.
Yeah. Who's going tomorrow or who's going on Friday? Is it Hunter Brown?
It's Hunter Brown versus Tyler McGill, the ace-off that we promised.
Yeah. Let's go.
Can't wait.
Can't wait.
For my first shift for Roller World, I can't wait to cover that game.
Last little thing here before we sign off. We are doing, again, a live show at Murphy's Bar on Saturday, live pregame, live postgame. We're going to be live on the YouTube channel, so if you're not from New York or if you're not in the area, you can still be a part of it. You can still watch on the YouTube channel, Mets'd podcast. But if you're in the area, we'd love to see you out there. Murphy's Bar in Astoria, it's like the best Mets bar in the city. We're going to have some t-shirts to give away. We're going to have a ton of stickers. We're going to have a lot of fun out there and have some beers and watch some baseball. Nothing better. But that's it. That's it for opening day. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Make sure you follow us on all our social media at Mets'd on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Subscribe to the Mets'd podcast YouTube channel. Listen to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google. Drop us a rating, drop us a review, download and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Join up there. We got a nice community building. Shout out to Sean again for helping us out with that. And shout out to the channel members. We got a couple of you right now. We're going to shout you out in the next episode properly because we know this is like a little quick one. But Monday, we'll give all the members a shout out as well. And they get access to the videos early. Don't forget that. James, YouTube channel, where can they find you?
James Shiano, YouTube. I did my bowl predictions a couple days ago. I'm going to do some instant reactions for the first weekend, Monday or Tuesday. So be on the lookout for that.
Sounds good. Thank you guys for listening and watching. We will catch you all on the next episode. Peace out.
Peace out. Let's go Mets.